So we have a problem here, multiplying by a power of 10. It says 256 times 100. So there are 4 steps that we can follow to get our answer. And the first step you're going to do is you're going to highlight the factor that is not a power of 10. So that would be 256. And then you may write that in the box, 256. Now, number 2 says determine the number of zeros in that power of 10. So you're going to look, it is 2 zeros. So we'll put a 2 there. Then it says add that number of zeros to the other factor. Well, we're going to take 256, and we're going to add on 2 zeros to it. And then fourth, it says insert your commas as needed. So remember, our comma would go in between the thousands place and the hundreds place. Oops. So we would have, my fault, I forgot the 6. 25,600. Okay, let's go to page 2. This page shows you the steps you will need to do for the standard algorithm for multiplication. That's what we call it, the standard multiplication algorithm, which just means a step-by-step process. So we're going to write the problem vertically. Notice down here in this purple box, they have wrote down 48 times 52. So we are going to multiply the ones digit in the second factor by every digit in the first factor. The first factor is 48. So we're going to take 2 times 8. You see that in red here is 16. So we're going to put down the 6 in the ones place and carry the 1 above the tens place. Then we're going to go ahead and take that 2 and we're going to multiply it times the other number in that first factor. So that's a 4. And that's 8. 2 times 4 is 8. Then we're going to add on the 1 that we carried, remember? So that would be 9. And we'll place the 9 in our answer, in our product, down below the line. So now you have just multiplied 48 times 2. It's 96. But wait a minute. Now we have to go to the 5. The 5 that's in the second factor. So how do we do that? Well, we are going to add a placeholder. So I'm going to go ahead and add one because we're now working in the tens place. And I am going to multiply that tens digit, which is a 5, to every digit in that first factor. So I'm going to go ahead and do 5 times 8. That is 40. So I'm going to put down a 0 and carry a 4. I'll cross out the 1 from before. Now we're going to do 5 times 4. And 5 times 4 I know is 20. So I'll do 20 plus the 4 that we carried would be 24. And I will write that down here as my product. Now we're going to go ahead and add up the 2 products we wrote down, 96 and then 2,400. And I'm just going to add them together. And it's small there, but it's 2,496 is our answer. Now, slide 3. You may put in your answers. This is a multiplication chart. So I started putting boxes where you can type in your answers. But the problem is I'm going to have a check mark blocking each corner. So I stopped. But that just gives you an idea. You can begin typing using your text tool and put these in. Okay, now do I expect you to do all of this today? No. You can start filling it in and then come back to it later. Okay? But I want you to work on making one on your own. So that is there. Now, for slide 4. This is practice multiplying with zeros. So you're going to multiply 279 times 70. But we're going to do this tip. We're going to take off the 0 and multiply. Then we'll add the 0 back on when we get our final answer. Okay? So you're going to go ahead and do 279 times 7. And I already wrote it down here. This is a little grid that has the place values labeled. And this just teaches you that you have to line up your numbers when we start working with the algorithm. So you're going to do 7 times 9 first. And you'll write down the product. What is 7 times 9? 63. Carry the 6. Okay? Then we are going to move over. We're going to do 7 times 7, which is 49, and then add in the 6 we carried over. So that would be 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. I'm going to put down a 5 and carry that other 5 to the hundreds place. Then last, you are going to do 7 times 2. And 7 times 2 is 14, plus 5 more, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And I will carry that 1 into the thousands column. And then we can add a comma. Now, here's the thing though. I'm going to take the comma away just because I'm going to show you the next step. We are going to add the zeros that we took off. So we took off a 0, so I'm going to add 1 back on. So when we get our final answer, it's actually going to push these numbers over. So our final answer is 19,530. And you're going to do the same thing with slide 5. Okay? 96 times 8,000. So just do a shortcut. 96 times 8, I already wrote it down below. Solve by multiplying. And then add those zeros back on for your final answer. Now, for slide 7, this is where I'm going to have you set it up on your own. So you're going to set it up in the grid. Your first factor is 652, and your second factor is 32. We always put the longer number on top. So you will end up putting 632 in the grid times Oops, I wrote that wrong. 652 times 32. And then you can even use the line tool if you want to create a little bar there. There we go. So try your best. Some of you will already know these steps by heart. Some of you won't. And that's okay. We're going to work on it together in class next week. So try it out, and I can't wait to see it. So make sure you raise your hand when you're ready. Okay. Have a great weekend. Bye.